What kind of ripple effects do you think these retaliatory strikes could have on the region?
We don't have to look very far to figure that out because you just saw there with the defiant statement from the Houthis down there. Also, I'm saying literally just moments before we came on air that the Islamic Resistance of Iraq claimed credit for that attack in Deir ez-Zor that killed the 7 SDF fighters. And we can only imagine that that was probably supposed to be Americans because that's an American base. And had that been elsewhere on the base and killed more Americans, you can understand that there would be enormous pressure on the White House to expand into Iran already, which, of course, many of the critics of the administration are already complaining that these strikes weren't enough. But I'm just telling you, these are not going to deter any of these groups from doing it. They've already committed that they're going to fight. And by the way, both the Houthi and the Islamic Resistance of Iraq statements both expressly tied their actions to the Israeli fight in the Gaza Strip against the Palestinian people. So if you don't even address that, then there's no prospect that a few missiles are going to stop them, as they've shown for many months and years.
I want to ask you more about that because I know you said in a recent interview you don't expect these Iran-backed proxies are going to stop attacking U.S. forces until the war in Gaza ends. Talk a little more about why you think that is, and then that sort of begs the question, what impact is these strikes having?
I can answer the second part first. They're having no impact at all because they expect that. They totally understand how America operates, and they know that the threats that we've issued are not hollow, and they expect them to come. But they're also willing to continue to do that because just like the Saudi Arabians were not able to kowtow the Houthis for almost 10 years of fighting, even though they had overwhelming air support and superiority, these folks, when they're committed, will continue going on. I personally observed it throughout all my time in Afghanistan and Iraq against these militants. They just don't operate the way we do. They don't use the calculus of whether something is too painful for them. They will keep going.
We understand the House could soon vote on a $17 billion aid package to Israel. Now, you've said in the past that this military support needs to come with strings attached. What are those strings? What should the conditions be?
Indeed, it does. And I'm concerned that I don't see either the House or the Senate talking in either of their versions about any kind of strings. And look, President Biden correctly said at the very outset of this that Israel needs to be careful that they don't go too far with their emotions and create some of the same mistakes that we did after 9/11. They have done that in spades, and that is that they have no concern, no care about the civilian population in Gaza that's being killed along with these operations. What the string should be is that we should hold Israel to the same standard with our equipment and ammunition that we hold our own forces to. And we have similar operations in the past where it was intelligence driven and highly focused on protecting the civilian populations while killing the actual terrorists. Israel can do that, but they're not going to if we don't hold them responsible and accountable to do it.